Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Want to thank everybody for joining us on this kind of cloudy hump day today with a few showers early this morning, but some heavy rain falling overnight. More on that in just a bit. But I want to welcome in with me our wonderful, talented Ag Director, Bridgette Readel, who is on remote location. Again, you're all over the place all the time.
I am, and it's been a little while since you've got to spend time in the exterior of my pickup.
I know. You know, you got to put like a mannequin in the back there just to make it look kind of like we have an audience or something.
Right, and it's not like we have a carpool lane that I need an extra body in here with me when I'm going places. In fact, right now my greatest concern is, will the trucks at the intersection behind me use their Jake brakes? And there's like a lot of background noise when you're trying to talk to me. That's my concern.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. But some heavy rain. Did you see the rainfall? Some of the rainfall totals overnight, Bridgette? Man.
So I had a lot of social media talk this morning, chatter, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I know. Tell me how close I am.
Okay.
Golden Lake up by Findlay, they had about an inch. Just to the north of that, maybe just a couple tenths. In Mayville, there was probably about 3/4 of an inch, but west of Portland, North Dakota, over 2 inches of rain. Where I'm at Hunter, probably about a 1/4 inch in my gauge this morning. So it's been really varied, and it was a very tight
It was a very narrow band, and it basically almost hugged the Highway 200 corridor.
Yes.
Some of the I've got some totals we'll run down here, and if you have any totals you'd like to shoot along to us, and then we could pass that along to the Weather Service. They always use that. Give us a call at our Red Wing Shoes hotline, 701-293-9000. That's 701-293-9000. Hope picked up a $1.17. Let's see. As you said, Mayville picked up about 3/4 of an inch. Hillsboro, just up the road from Fargo, 9/10 of an inch. We only picked up 5/100 here out at the airport, but we didn't pick up anything here at the studio outside of just a few sprinkles. Heavier amounts were in portions on the other side of the river in Minnesota. Hitterdale picked up 2.4. Ada picked up $1.25. Walk-On picked up 1.1. So Ulen picked up just a little over an inch. So some heavy amounts, but like you said, a very narrow corridor. And now the good news is for any of our farmers that have not been able to get out in the field, which I believe it includes our own Jim, correct? Who we're farming with Here We Grow. The good news is, for the most part, outside of an isolated shower here or there, we're going to be dry from today through Sunday in the valley and into Lakes Country, and windy too. How much of a factor does a strong south wind help dry us? And could it? We're not going to get too dry over a 5-day period.
But I'm greedy, and I want sunshine with that wind because that's going to warm everything up. And right now, we've got a good wind out there. The only problem is it's probably, let me see, my pickup says it's 65 degrees. So it's not exactly great outside as far as temperature is concerned.
Exactly.
But the wind helps. We call it graying off. If you start to see fields that get sort of a grayish tint when they go from that dark black soil color, that graying off, you can kind of see it drying out. That's literally what it's starting to look like. And I'm curious how Jim is going to feel about planting this week, because I've had a lot of people tell me they've wrapped up corn or about to wrap up corn, and they're on to soybeans. So I'm pretty sure Jim's there too.
Okay, and that's what we're looking at, more sunshine. Maybe not so much today, but for the rest of the week and into the upcoming holiday weekend, more sunshine. And you know what? We'll be warming up into the 80s and back close to 90 as we head into Sunday. Sunday looking almost hot. And then a pretty good shot for thunderstorms coming in here on Memorial Day and the day after. So Memorial Day and the day after look kind of wet.
Did you do your homework? You're going to find out how many Memorial Days always get rain.
It's a work in progress, and by a work in progress, that means I shot an email to the National Weather Service, and here's the problem, because Memorial Day doesn't fall. It's not like every 4th of July falls on the 4th of July. Every Memorial Day is a different calendar day.
Right.
It's always on the Monday.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So that takes a while to go back over all the years. So they're in fact, they were thinking the same thing. We were just wondering ourselves, like, what percentage. I'm like, there you go. Good minds think alike. So.
And speaking of those good minds, Dean, I want to make a reminder to all of you who have our rain gauges. Send us that information. We really appreciate that you do. I know Steve, shout out to you. He often sends us information when he gets any rainfall in his gauge. So for any others, please let us know. We'd be really curious what's going on in your neighborhood.
Yeah. And again, luckily we didn't have a whole lot here. And it'd be curious. And Jim, if you're listening, if you're out in your tractor and you're doing some work out there, if you have time to give us a call, let us know what you got in your rain gauge, or shoot us a text and let us know what you got. I'm guessing he probably didn't get a whole lot, if anything.
Probably not.
Most of it was just north of where he's at. So,
and a reminder for those who are going to call us, that is the Red Wing Shoe phone line, 701-293-9000. If you're shy, you can just email Dean or I, ag-or-weather@flagfamily.com. We'd happily take those emails as well. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely. And currently temperatures, like you were saying, Bridgette, in the low 60s across much of the area, kind of socked in these clouds. And, hey, at least we're not in Duluth. Duluth right now, current temperature is 41. How'd you like that?
Ooh, that's
How would you like that
brisk.
with a stiff
Brisk.
breeze? Yeah, no, thank you.
I would say those guys are wearing more than a jacket. I mean, currently I could go put my jacket back on, but they would have never lost it right now.
Yep. And speaking of warm weather, we broke a 95-year-old record yesterday. Old record was 92 back in 1928. We hit 93 yesterday. A little early.
Explains why I was so sweaty.
A little early in the season for that. But we'll take it. It was a long winter, long kind of drawn out winter. And don't look for a whole lot of those days. We're going to frequently get these little intrusions of cooler air from Canada throughout the winter. Bite my tongue. Gee. Throughout this upcoming summer. So don't think like just because we're having early heat here towards the end of May, that's not going to be the trend for this upcoming summer. So just so you know.
Well, let me just toss this out. Our listeners are probably realizing that Justin Storm, our meteorologist, is not with us today. And Grand Forks didn't get any rain. Is he at home putting his garden in so he can try to get ahead of me?
I think he is getting a jump on it. He is. Well, that's why he's like, hey, can I have the day off? I've got to do some work around home. So maybe that's what he meant.
Well, good news. I got a lot of my stuff planted yesterday. There's a few stragglers I got to take care of, and some things I don't plant right away. I wait for a little bit later in season. But unlike our farmers, yesterday when I was in my backyard, and I'm kind of on the edge of a small town, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could literally see the dust in the air and hear the planters and the tractors going everywhere. Like you can hear the vacuum on the planters. There were so many people in the field.
That's a good sound though, isn't it? That is.
It is. It was great.
And you sent us an email that you have extra rhubarb and sourdough as well. Did you get a chance to talk to Bonnie this morning, because she had a lot of questions about that?
Yep, we did.
Okay.
And I will make it a very simplified process. So tomorrow when I'm in studio, I will bring a raft of rhubarb and a whole couple of big jars of sourdough starter for those who wanted them. Yes.
Gotcha. And we've got a special guest coming up after the break. Who's our guest today?
Of course we do. They're all special, but
Well, of
this
course.
one I am really I am truly looking forward to every one of them. And today was no exception. Corby Ward. He is the North Dakota Chief Brand Inspector for the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. As those of you who are watching on our live screen, you're seeing images from North Dakota Stockmen's Association's website. And we're going to talk to Corby about the things that he particularly does. When you say brand inspector, a lot of people think right away like the livestock officers in Yellowstone. No, don't think that. We're gonna talk to Corby about what he really does, why it's important to things that happen around here in the state. And I've got a bunch of questions for him as usual, because let's face it, we're curious, Dean. Maybe you can get a brand for that cow you've got.
There you go. Absolutely.
So yeah, let's look forward to that.
Okay, well, and so we'll take a break right now. When we come back again, we'll be talking with Corby Ward. And if you have any questions for Corby during our conversation with him, again, our number on our Red Wing Shoe hotline is 701-293-9000. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Does a spring thaw leave you anxious about your basement each year? Have you been struggling with water seeping in, but you've been putting off the inevitable? At Precision Concrete Cutters Ramjack North, we have a solution for every basement problem. From wall bracing to water seepage to complete foundation replacement, your home is your greatest asset. So let Precision Concrete Cutters Ramjack North help you preserve and protect it. For a free estimate and to learn more, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
Hats off to the class of 2023. Trinidad Benham congratulates each student who has had the dedication and spirit to meet the challenge so successfully. Go into the world and do well, but more importantly, go into the world and do good. Make the tassel worth the hassle. Congratulations and best wishes for a bright future from your friends at Trinidad Benham. They are your local beam processor and marketer located in Colgate, North Dakota. Online at trinidadbenham.com.
Kindred Public Schools salutes the incredible spirit and accomplishments this year of the Kindred Vikings. What an amazing group of students. We believe you can fly. Spread your wings and soar high. They've enjoyed watching you grow into fine young men and women. They're proud of each of you and are eager to see you succeed in the years to come. Congratulations, grads of 2023 from Kindred Public Schools.
If you're planning a big event for the summer, maybe it's a work function or you have a family gathering too big to host at your house, let O'Kelly's be the spot. Whether it's a grad party, groom's dinner, wedding reception, O'Kelly's has the space to make it great. And they will cater the whole thing with delicious food, a great outdoor setting by the pool, or indoors where everything is taken care of. They're attached to the Biltmore Inn, so out-of-towners even have a place to stay. Don't worry about anything. Talk to Tori at O'Kelly's, I-29 in Maine, in Fargo.
Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency would like to say congratulations to the graduating seniors of 2023. They salute each student that has had the dedication and spirit to meet the challenge and succeed. Wishing you the best of luck as you journey into the future. It's bright, and you better grab some shades. May your futures be as bright as it is today and always. Congratulations from your friends at Kindred State Bank and Insurance Agency. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at kindredstatebank.com.
Don't start the planting season off with sore feet. Stop in and purchase a brand new pair of Red Wing boots. Hi, Teresa here from Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store. Whether you're planting in the field, maintaining equipment, or fertilizing, make sure you put Red Wing shoes and custom inserts at the top of your list. Nothing's worse than sore feet in the field. Stop in and check out our vast selection of styles and colors. You'll be surprised. 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo, Red Wing shoes for ultimate durability.
If you're looking for land or a specific piece of equipment for your farm, ranch, or construction site, add steffesgroup.com to your list of favorites. You'll find all their upcoming auctions in your area and nationwide, both live on site and timed online. Like their bi-monthly timed online auctions featuring equipment from all of their upper Midwest locations. And if you have equipment to sell, check out the deadline to consign for their next bi-monthly online auction. Go to steffesgroup.com today and get in on the action of an auction anytime, day or night. That's steffesgroup.com, STEFFES group.com.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. Right now, you can save over $6,000 on select new Chevy Silverado 1500s. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
And welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director, along with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. And he says it's brisk out, but it's going to get better. So thank you for doing that, Dean. I appreciate it. Glad to hear it.
Finally, right?
Right. Okay, so something else we're going to appreciate hearing today is going to be our guest, and that is Corby Ward. He is the North Dakota Chief Brand Inspector for the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. And Corby, I am so excited to visit with you because when most people think about the brand inspector, all they think about is Yellowstone. So we're probably going to have to dispel that myth just a little bit today, don't you think?
A little bit. It's not quite the same.
Okay, well, let's get rolling. So tell us who you are and what exactly is it that you do?
I'm Corby Ward. I'm the Chief Brand Inspector for Stockmen's Association, and I oversee the brand program for the state.
Okay, so you've got an audience here that's probably 50% farm, 50% urban. What's a brand? Why would that matter to any cattlemen or cattlewomen?
A brand would be your proof of ownership on cattle. It's everybody's brand is different. It's specific to them when they design it and get it recorded. And then that's how our brand inspectors can, when they inspect the cattle, that brand correlates with that owner, so we know whose cow it is.
And Corby, for those that don't know exactly what a brand inspector does it have anything to do with the health of the livestock too? Do you check for that before they go across state lines?
We don't. That's through the Board of Animal Health.
Okay.
We just check for ownership.
So this is kind of like the title on your car, right? If you're going to sell cattle, transfer, etc., your brand has to be on your livestock. But what if it goes to somebody else?
If your cattle are branded and you sell them to somebody else, you can sign a bill of sale or get a change of ownership inspection done. And then with that piece of paper, though, the individual that bought it has proof they own the cow that has your brand on it.
So give us just a smidge of history here. North Dakota Stockmen's Association, y'all been around a little while, and has the Stockmen's Association always taken care of brand inspection, or has that ever been a separate entity from what they do?
Nope, the Stockmen's has always done the brand inspection part of it. From way back when they originally started.
Okay. And originally started, if I'm not mistaken, we're pushing, is it 95 years with Stockmen's Association? Am I close?
Yeah, I think it's 94, 95.
Perfect. Good. I'm glad to hear it because this is an organization that has done so much of the background work for livestock producers in the state of North Dakota. And in fact, little fun fact, maybe you know more about this than I do, Corby. One of the very few branding iron manufacturers in the U.S. is right here in Mandan, North Dakota, correct?
Yep. L&H branding irons, they make a lot of electric branding irons or freeze branding irons.
Okay. So I know, Dean, not a farm guy. What's the difference between an electric or freeze brand or any other type of brand you may have on an animal?
A hot iron brand would be electric, or a fire heated brand that it's hot. So when you brand, it's with heat. And then the freeze brand is cold, and what it does is actually freezes the skin there, and then the hair will go back white.
So yeah, I'm watching the look on Dean's face, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you can do what with this stuff?"
So Corby, it's for how many? I guess how much livestock would slip through the process of what you do? Do most owners go along with, all right, yeah, we've got to make sure the brand is correct before they go across state lines? What kind of penalty is there? Or do most people just abide by it and, hey, this is how it is?
No, most people follow the laws. You don't get a change of ownership done when they sell, or any livestock that leaves the state is required to get a brand inspection before they leave. But most people follow the rules and the laws and get the stuff done they're supposed to.
Okay, so that poses a bit of... No, finish answering that, Corby, but that leads me to another question for you then.
Okay, if they don't, we can, and we find out about it, we can actually go to, wherever the livestock went inspect the livestock there, and they can get cited for leaving the state without, the proper paperwork.
Okay, that answers an email question that we just got about, is there some kind of a fine that people would have to pay if they don't brand livestock? It's not necessarily not if they don't brand, but if they were to transfer head, correct?
Correct, because there's actually no, you're not required to brand if you own livestock. You can choose not to, but anytime there's a change of ownership or you leave the state, then they need to be inspected. So even if you haul it into one of the,
well, keep going.
Even if you haul it into one of the sale barns, we have brand inspectors at all the sale barns that inspect the cattle there.
Okay, so when you say brand inspectors, you're all out keeping an eye on who's got brands on, if they're being transferred, that type of thing. Are you considered law enforcement officers? Would you have the right to intervene like law enforcement does? Or what are the things that you do when it comes to some of, movement of cattle that might not be completely legal?
I have law enforcement. I'm a licensed law enforcement officer, and then I have 3 deputies that are also licensed law enforcement. And so then we have the power to arrest somebody or whatnot. So if if somebody steals cattle or something to that effect, we can go in after them and arrest them and ticket them.
Okay.
But
when you say steal cattle,
take somebody's cows that aren't yours.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is cattle rustling didn't really die with the Old West, did it?
Not completely. It's not a common, it's not a common thing, but it still does happen. Not just here, but in a lot of states.
Well, now, if that is a problem in some states, how would they get away with it when they try and sell it then?
Depends. You can. Some states don't have brand laws, so there's no inspection on the cattle when they get into that state or go through a sale barn in that state. So that'd be one way of they could get away with it.
So hold on, there are states without brand laws? That I did not know.
Correct. Yep. Well, like Minnesota has no, they don't have brand laws. South Dakota's actually split by the river. West River, South Dakota has brand laws. East River does not.
Okay.
Most of your western states, like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Nevada, Colorado, they all have brand laws.
Is that due to open grazing?
I don't know for sure, I guess.
Okay.
Larger, more agricultural states, more cattle, I suppose.
Okay. Interesting. Those are things that will just kind of pop up that we don't really know much about. So, folks, for those of you who are listening, we are visiting with Corby Ward. He is the North Dakota Chief Brand Inspector for the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. Stockmen's Association does a whole lot of things for all of us here in the state. And we're going to talk a little bit more about brands and some of the heritage of that, because some of these brands have been around for a long time. So I kind of want to ask Corby, how do you get a brand? Where does all that start? Can you pass one on through the generations? And we'll do that when we come back right after this.
Introducing Ambassador Cleaning, your one-stop shop for all your office cleaning needs. Their team of experts will leave your business sparkling clean and smelling fresh. With over 22 years of experience, they guarantee satisfaction with every job, commercial or industrial. No job is too small. Don't waste time cleaning the office yourself. Leave it to the professionals at Ambassador Cleaning to make your space enjoyable and germ-free. Experience the difference. Contact them today at ambassadorcleaning.com. Ambassador Cleaning, one call cleans it all.
Foston Tri-Co-op is hiring an agronomy manager. Must have sales and agronomy experience, able to sell crop protection, fertilizer, and chemicals. College degree in agronomy or equal experience is preferred. Enjoy competitive salary and benefits, including health, long-term disability, dental, life insurance, HAS, paid vacation, and retirement match and profit sharing. Email resume to jen.howard@fostoncoop.com or call 218-435-6919 and ask for Brent. Foston Tri-Co-op, hiring an agronomy manager, and it could be you.
Cass County Farm Bureau reminds farmers and ranchers before planters hit the field and begin your field work, make sure all equipment is in top operating condition. And be sure to put safety first. A safe planting season comes down to patience, preparation, and precautions. Cass County Farm Bureau is helping keep everyone in communities safe during the planting season and always supporting spring farm safety. On the air because they care. And wishing you a safe and productive season are your friends at the Cass County Farm Bureau.
As the sun begins to set, your neighbors gather around your fire pit built by Valley Landscaping. The flames dance in the cool breeze, causing a warm glow on their faces. There's music and laughter. Everyone's enjoying the evening in your backyard oasis. With expert craftsmanship and attention to detail, Valley Landscaping transformed your ordinary yard into a welcoming retreat. Valley Landscaping, the experts at creating the perfect outdoor living space. Go to valleylandscaping.com to learn more.
So I was thinking, it's Friday night date night.
Yeah, I know. Three Lines Pub.
Yes, the date night special. 2 meals and 2 glasses of wine for $30. Or I can get a whole bottle for $35, and you can get a variety of beer on tap.
You know, we can swing by during the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are takeover trivia nights.
With great prizes.
Blackout Bingo's the last Tuesday of the month. Discounts for first responders, military, and seniors every day.
Friends, food, and fun at 3 Lions Pub on 13th Avenue in West Fargo.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Staples has everything your business needs, all in one place. Shipping supplies and services, so you can fill orders from all over in one stop. Plus, professional print and marketing services at your fingertips. And now, during Staples Small Business Deal Days, when rewards members spend $100 or more, they get $20 back in rewards plus another $10 back with the Staples Connect app. And you'll find new deals in store every week on tech, chairs, and shipping supplies. Get everything for your business for less at Staples. Rewards offer ends 5/27. Limit 1. Redeemable in-store only.
Welcome back to WDAY. Gosh, I gotta stop stuttering today. This is Bridgette Readel, Ag Director here at Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, and our guest today is Corby Ward. He is the North Dakota Chief Brand Inspector with North Dakota Stockmen's Association. And Corby, one of our sponsors for our Here We Grow project, well, that's the North Dakota Estate Services. So if you are looking for someone to help you with transition planning in your farm, or any other part of your life, they would be the place to call in order to get assistance to do that. But when it comes to brands, Corby, you probably don't need to put that as part of your estate plan now, do you, if you want to pass it on from generation to generation?
Not necessarily. The brand is considered property, so, but to transfer it, you can get a transfer form from us and, transfer it to your kid or grandkid or anybody really.
Okay, so I actually wrote down some of my family's brands because we have one that was my grandpa's. Now my brother has it. It's Heart Over E. My dad has the quarter circles, and now one of my family members uses that. But then if you turn that quarter circle on the side, it's my uncle's brand. So can you talk a little bit about how do you build a brand and what about placement on the animal, those types of things for those who just don't know all the intricacies of how and where you would brand your livestock?
To apply for a brand, you'd get the application form and then come up with what you want your brand to be. And then you can choose the locations on the livestock. So it would be like shoulder, rib, or hip on the left or right side of cattle. And then you submit it with the fee to us. We put it through a program to make sure there's no conflicts with other brands that are already recorded. And as far as what location you'd want, that's kind of a personal preference deal.
Now, if you're going to go ahead and pay that fee, like you said, I'm going to ask the question about whether or not the fee is expensive, because one of our other sponsors is Dakota Bank, and Chad over at Dakota Bank would be happy to make sure you could cover that fee if you needed to with some dollars from them. But what's it cost to build a brand? And then subsequently, you have to go build your branding iron too, correct?
Right. You'd have to, you could build your branding irons yourself or get them made by somebody. But the brand fee to get a brand is $25 per position per species. So
okay,
it's not really that expensive at all.
So you can transfer that brand if you were using it on cattle and or horses when you say per species, right?
Right. You'd have to apply for both species. And then if it was approved for both cattle and horses, then you could use it on both in the position it was approved in.
And Corby, do all livestock have to be branded? Are there certain ones like sheeps or goats that don't have to be, or?
None of them have to be branded. There's no law or anything that says you have to brand livestock. But there is, you can get brands for horses, cattle, mules, sheep, or bison.
Oh, even bison. Okay. So when you're doing the brands, so for instance, if you're a family and you own, let's say out of the 6 positions, you own 4 of them for a beef animal, what's the process to try to get the other positions? Are you allowed to do that? Can you buy, sell, and trade with somebody else to get the rest of them? How does that work?
Yeah, if somebody else had your brand, the same brand in those other locations, you didn't, you could buy them from them, or they could give them to you, and then you fill out that transfer form to get it from their name into yours, and then you'd have to pay the brand fee here to record it in your name.
Dean, I hope you're already drafting your brand.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas. Corby, we had an email come in asking, does the Cattleman do you do any education seminars?
Not necessarily just education seminars, but we, like coming up here in June, we have spring roundups scattered around the state where there's some Stockmen's, members and staff that'll be speaking at those, albeit all of them. And then like our convention in the fall, there's a lot of good information and speakers at that. And I'm more than happy to talk to anybody that wants to call or stop in and see me.
And your fall convention is in Watford City at the end of September this year, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so people can mark their calendars for that. And, when you talk about, so there are times where you may have to investigate a situation, and you are, in fact, a licensed peace officer. How often does that happen? Or what does kind of the daily life look like for you or for any of your inspectors who are at sale barns around the state?
For me, I'm in the office quite a bit because I have to approve every local inspection and everything. All the paperwork that's done ends up going through my office, so I spend a lot of time looking at that. The 3 deputies are scattered. There's an East River deputy, West River deputy, and then an at-large deputy that kind of goes all over. Those guys are on the road almost every day, rather doing brand inspections or responding to different calls like animals at large or cattle. Somebody finds a stray cow in their place. The sale barn inspectors, they're working all the cattle sales at each barn. So they're there. They got to look at everything that comes in, and then they write all the paperwork for the new buyers when they buy the cattle at the barns.
Okay. When you're doing those transfers, like if you're moving interstate, so to speak, from North and South Dakota, et cetera, is there ever a delay in some of those paperwork that you can't move them the day you buy at a sale barn, or is it a delay if you have to move them up into Canada? Does anything like that occur?
As far as like going to South Dakota or Montana, as long as you have your, you get your brand paper from us saying you bought it, and have each state has different import regulations on, if they have to have a health or different regulations on the livestock. As long as you have all that in order, once you have all your paperwork, you can travel.
Okay. With the onset of discussion regarding electronic ear tags, kind of where does that stand for your office? Or maybe it's not even for your office, but would you see that electronic ear tags for tracking animals is a better fit than what we currently do with traditional branding? Or is there any difference that you see between the two?
As far as for tracking them, cattle lose ear tags all the time, or they can be removed. So with branding, that's a permanent deal. Once it's put on, it's on the animal for the life of the animal. So we can track them by brand. In theory, you could take an electronic tag off one and put it in another one.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that. Right. It's like an earring. You can just move it from one critter to the other, because I'm familiar with the fact that they lose them, but I never even thought about being nefarious and switching it from one critter to the other in that situation. So yeah, good point. And go ahead, Dean.
Well, I was gonna ask, is there any? You've got branding, you've got your ear tags. Is there any microchips like they do for dogs? Is that an option or no?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm guessing that might be a little too expensive, or when you got that many.
It probably would be, and then it'd be a little tougher to. You have to be a lot closer to read that microchip versus looking at a brand.
Right.
We don't have to get up close and personal with them now.
Gotcha.
Okay. Even with the brands that you do traditionally, is there a preference among producers if they're using the electric brands or the freeze brands? Do you see a more availability of one over the other?
Well, when you get your brand, that's your choice. And if you want a freeze brand or brand with a hot iron, the majority of people use a hot iron. Freeze branding takes longer. It's a longer process.
Okay. Well, I can't wait until I'm in studio tomorrow and I bring a branding iron in to show Dean and Justin. And all I can say is I wouldn't touch the hot end if I were you guys. Just a heads up.
You're going to bring
So
it
you
in
just
here.
never know.
You're going to bring it in here to make sure that, it's called payback, I think.
Hey, my coffee table at home has all of our family brands branded into it. I could do that with the desk right there in studio too. That'd be all right. So, folks, our guest today has been Corby Ward. He is the North Dakota State Chief Brand Inspector with North Dakota Stockmen's Association. Corby, if folks would like to find out where you are or how to do more with the Stockmen's Association, how could they do that?
They can get on our website at ND Stockmen is our website, and then our office is in Bismarck at 407 South 2nd Street, or they can call me at the office at 701-223-2522.
And by the way, congratulations on just breaking ground on your new building, which I believe will be in North Bismarck. That's pretty exciting after probably 50 years or close to in the building you're currently in.
Yep. Everybody's pretty excited to get in there.
Okay, this is the first time I've gotten a press release that says, and the parking lot will have room for those with pulling trailers on their way through. So it's easier to access for producers. And I thought that was an awesome statement to have in there too. Folks, we're going to catch up with the American Ag Network with current markets, and then we'll be back to recap our weather and our headlines.
It's Outback Days going on now at Muscatel's Subaru. While supplies last, Muscatel's has new Outback models available now. No waiting. All with Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive for safety and security 4 seasons of the year. Ask about Muscatel's complimentary accessory credit with new Outback purchase. Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead or online at muscatelsubaru.com. Subaru, built to last.
Spring is right around the corner. Hi, Nancy Kelly here from Labor Masters. Labor Masters provides last-minute help to both businesses and homeowners in the FM and Lakes area. When you think spring cleaning, yard and garden work, call us for an extra hand. We're locally owned and even guarantee our workers. Call us at 701-566-8755 or online at labormasters.net. Labor Masters, get the quality, reliable help you need today.
A lot of land comes with a lot of work. The new Kubota MX Series has a lot to offer, including the versatility to mow, move hay bales, grade roads, and clear brush and snow. An optional spacious cab to keep you comfortable in any conditions. A front-end loader with excellent loader lift capacity, transmission options, and rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Visit Acme Equipment today. See the full line of Kubota at Acme Equipment on the I-29 frontage road, Fargo.
Dad, I can't wait to be a builder someday, just like you.
Thanks, son. Yeah, it's rewarding work, but it's also hard, which is why I follow your grandpa's advice and wear quality work boots from Red Wing Shoes.
Hi, Teresa here, store manager at the Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store. For more than 100 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping companies keep their workers safe and comfortable, even in the most hazardous conditions. Stop in and see for yourself at 3003 Main Avenue in Fargo. Red Wing Shoes for ultimate durability.
Rich Rispa with American Ag Network here for this market update. We're chatting with Arlen Suderman, Chief Economist at StoneX. Arlen, as I look at the numbers today, we have a little strength in corn and beans, but wheat is a little taking back some of those gains we saw yesterday. What are you making of those markets?
Yeah, and we look at the wheat market, it continues to be under pressure of feelings like we've got ample wheat in the world, mostly Russia dumping cheap supplies onto the world market. And we may be tight on milling wheat, but nobody's hurting right now, so to speak. It's being supplied, therefore there's no reason for the funds to feel like they need to have ownership. Wheat is grown around the world, and while it does matter now what happens in the rest of the world, there's no imminent threat in other parts of the world that the market's focused on. Corn and soybeans, on the other hand, putting back a little bit of risk premium, not a significant amount compared to how much we lost, but with things drying out in the Midwest right now, we are seeing some short covering and some profit taking on those short positions.
Well, and you mentioned Russia having some cheap wheat, but recently we've heard some news that maybe the grain initiative is not going quite as smooth as we were hoping. Could you discuss a little bit about that?
It really isn't, and the real focus in that grain initiative, even though this plays out in the wheat market a lot of times, has been to ship corn followed by wheat, and so the real emphasis has been on corn. But we did get the 60-day extension last week, but Russia has only been allowing ships to go to the 2 smaller of the 3 ports that are supposed to be able to load grain, and a very limited supply of ships going to those 2 ports. So Russia is doing what they can as part of the initiative to restrict how much grain can come out of that region as tensions continue to escalate.
Those have been comments from Arlen Suderman of StoneX. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvet.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
Hey, welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. Kind of cloudy, much cooler than yesterday. Temperatures mid-upper 60s. Even cooler in the Northern Valley, low 60s. But like I said earlier, hey, we're not in Duluth where it's 41 with wind. No, thank you. That's okay. Prospects of sunshine today, at least here in the FM area. Kind of looking a little bit slim. We're looking at
not good at all right here, Dean.
I
Sorry,
know,
you got nothing.
I know. We might see a little sun by evening, but other than that, kind of a cloudy day. Gonna knock our expected high down probably into the mid 70s. I don't think we're gonna get much over that. With winds generally out of the east-southeast, about 15 to 25, gusting a little higher. We should clear things out tonight. A little breezy, mid-50s, and then low 80s tomorrow. More sunshine. In fact, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, quite a bit of sunshine, which you're thinking, great news. Holiday weekend. It is going to be windy. All 4 of those days, even into Memorial Day, we'll have windy conditions. But that's good. We'll dry things out for areas that need to be that need the dry weather, and we're going to turn hot with temperatures approaching 90 as we head into the upcoming weekend. So some pretty warm stuff heading our way. Only chance of rain I see in the forecast, outside of a spotty shower as a warm front lifts through tomorrow night, is Sunday night into Monday. Pretty good chance for rain, wouldn't you know it, on Memorial Day. And then that will last into Tuesday before much cooler weather will slide in here to start the month of June. And with our weather coming in from Canada, you know what that means. We'll see that smoke come back into the forecast, especially as we head into late next week as our upper level winds turn back in out of the north and west. So yeah, it'll be a while before we shake that. We got to break that. First, we got to get the fires out, or storm systems traverse into Alberta and really start to kind of squash the fire problem that they have up there. On a side note, Bridgette, I'm sure you follow. He was one of our guests, QDM, Quick Dick McDick, out of Saskatchewan, and you've got to check out. This guy is so. He's just so on top of things, so smart. Check out his latest YouTube clip that he just downloaded it today. And if that doesn't tell you something about, and he kind of goes into one of his favorite topics where, just the Canadian government interference and now what they're trying to pass. It's utter ridiculous. And you just hope and pray that something like that, like what they're suggesting, and I'm not. You'll have to watch it again. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's on. He just dropped it today on YouTube, and it just you got to hope that nothing like that comes south of the border where they start implementing some of these just crazy ideas.
Well, just remember, we have to make sure that people are well educated, and that's one of the things that we do here is making sure people understand what happens regularly in agriculture, but also in related industries, whether it would be what you'd think of non-traditional agriculture, such as forestry, et cetera. But we have great tie-ins to natural resources as well as to engineering and manufacturing, and we want to make sure that we can continue to operate efficiently but profitably as a country. And unfortunately, if we take the profit out of what we do when it comes to farming, that will hurt us in the end as consumers. And I mean, I don't have a lot of skills, but eating is one of them, and I'm good at it. So I'd really like to keep food affordable because I got to fill this gullet on a regular basis. Just saying.
With beef and beer.
And booze. And I'm okay with pork and chicken too. And let's not leave out fish. So really, I got a lot going on here. It's okay.
Oh, man.
I am not opposed to any of that.
Right. Well, again, with the weather improving as we head into the weekend, like I said, this should really help get out. And what did Jim say? It'd take 2 days to plant everything?
If you're talking about all of his soybeans, perhaps. But as far as our 20 acres, about a half hour.
Yeah.
It won't take long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got to get out.
Because if you remember our interview with Joe Knob with Flyover Whiskey out of Nebraska, in the time that he was on air with us, and he had shorter runs on his field, shorter rounds, so he was turning a little more frequently, he planted like 15 acres in the time we were on air.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Doesn't take long. Right. All right.
No, things are going to roll right along. That'll be very, very good.
Well, let's cover some ag topics real quick. We got about 4 minutes left here. What do you want to tackle here?
Okay, so just a reminder, we see a lot more drones in airspace these days because of some of the applications in which you can use them. And there's a few reminders coming out from the National Ag Aviation Service, because they wanted folks to bear in mind safety is key. And I'm just turning the page to find my list because I don't want to miss one. So for those who are using their drones, remember that it is a right-of-way to the manned aircraft. That is law. And we have a lot of ag aviation. You can call them a crop duster, but we have a lot of spray planes that are out this time of year. And they have all encountered drones in their airspace, because remember, those guys can get down to 10 feet above the ground. So make sure that the drones land. If there is a low-flying aircraft nearby, your drones need visible strobe lights. You need to be certified and well-trained when flying your drone. Also, you should be contacting your local aviation operations before flying so that people will know you're in the area, and you need liability insurance. Some folks are flying their drones just to check fields, get kind of a scouting report. Others are actually applying herbicides, pesticides, etc. with them. And so make sure that you are paying attention to what is going on around you when you're flying those drones. That's important.
That is, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And what about the farm supply chain holdups? Is that becoming a problem now?
Well, it hasn't gotten any better. I mean, when you think about it, post-pandemic right now, their microchips are still a pretty major bottleneck in manufacturing. They are not the sole problem, but also plastics are hard to come by, rubber tracks for your tractors, your combines. And we're getting closer and closer to our harvest situation where we're going to run into a problem with our, if we get a wet harvest and we've got to transfer over to tracks from track tires, that can make a difference for us. And labor is a huge issue. And you're going to love this, but I have a friend pulling up. I'm about to get an egg delivery right here while I'm on the side of the road.
Fresh eggs.
Thanks, Jess. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just got fresh eggs, guys. This is awesome.
That's great.
Thank you. Hey, the rest of you, I don't know what you're doing today, but I got my fresh eggs today from a friend.
You just got 2 dozen. That's it.
We did some trading, so yeah, I got 2 dozen eggs. This is pretty awesome.
Well, invite your friend on, right?
Right. Well, and actually, we have an in-studio guest tomorrow. That will be Marcia Van Leer. Marcia is with Gow & Company, which is one of our sponsors for our Here We Grow project as well. And Dean, for all the times you want to smart off to me, good luck tomorrow.
I'll have to bring my best tomorrow. I'll have my son with me in studio, so I've got to actually kind of behave tomorrow.
So should I bring the branding iron? That's probably our biggest question.
Oh, he would love to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I actually went out when I lived in Nebraska. Our engineer at the time at our station, his parents had a farm out in western Nebraska, and he invited us out during branding. They had to brand their new livestock, and it was very interesting.
Yes.
You almost feel bad for the cattle, but he's like, they don't care. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Some of you get tattoos,
right?
I mean, to think about it this way: if you're getting a tattoo and they're getting a brand, they only get one brand. Some of you are going back for multiple
tattoos. No doubt. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining. Oh, this just coming in off the wire here. Pop legend Tina Turner just passed away. 83 years old.
There go those legs.
Right, exactly. And what about her collection of wigs? Those were awesome.
You need to borrow one for the weekend?
Well, I mean, I could use a little.
Okay.
Well, everybody have a wonderful afternoon. I want to thank you for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock for Weather and Ag in Focus. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next. Stay tuned.
AM 970 and FM 93.1, WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Tucker, WDAY News.